Mathibela. Welcome to the SBAH Radio Studio. And today we touch base about the HR event that was taking place here at Steve Biko Academic Hospital sometime last week. And here at studio we have Mr. Radebe. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. It feels good to have you here on studio.
Yeah, it is also my great pleasure to be part of this moving establishment, which is growing from strength to strength. I see with you guys, we are getting there. Yeah, thank you so much. And congratulations with the good work that we see, especially the leader, Nawabi. So I think she's putting a lot of energy into this whole thing. So we appreciate this.
Sir, tell us, as the HR director, what are some of the objectives that you saw at the event last week?
Recent project, it has touched a sizable number in a very overwhelming way. We saw staff members coming into our event, and of course they were all empowered in terms of the type of information that we shared. With regards to the stakeholders that were present, we had our GPF noting that we've got a sizable numbers who are fast approaching the retirement. They are so keen to get to know more in that regard, and I think they are well empowered. There are a lot of decisions that one has to make on the issues of finance, and of course the issues of the medical aid, which is the GEMS, was also brought in to share an information. Substantial information was shared. We also included SARS. SARS is one institution that has been ignored, and its presence has now been felt in so many ways. Some have actually got to know about SARS in a very negative way, and of course here it's at least empowering. We're hoping to see a greater participation, especially to our staff members, on as far as the issues of filing is concerned. Of course, HR, it has to be proactive. We are approaching a business partnering model, which requires us to touch base continuously and consistently with the business. So in this regard, we had this event located somewhere in level 3, but we also saw the movement of our HR staff touching base with the staff as they move and present different service offering that we render, which ranges from HR planning, issues of talent sourcing, retention, issues of labor relations related, the grievances, what is grievance, because some of our staff members, they would encounter some areas of dissatisfaction, but they may not be clear exactly as to what needs to be done to start the process, and even the issues of misconduct, because we believe that some of our behavior that are displayed out there, out of unknowingly, they end up being interpreted as being misconduct. So with this kind of interaction, we were able to assist. And of course, our HR value chain is very broad. We touch base on issues of development, skills development, wherein we appreciate the level of competencies and also acknowledge the interventions that are needed so that we can be an A class, because Steve Biko is associated with excellence. So therefore, it is very important for our staff to be ready in sustaining and continuously improving the level of excellence. And of course, in the main, our interest as HR, we want to hire to retire. We want to keep you as long as you can, so that it can lessen some finances. Recruitment, it's very costly. You post an advert, those paperwork and whatnot. But if we have you being part of us, being developed, fully supported, issues of succession planning, we know that you will be here until you reach an ending as prescribed in terms of the Basic Condition of Employment Act.
You mentioned something about dissatisfaction. So I wanted to ask, what are some of the challenges that the people working at HR face, and how are they doing?
From time to time, we do get visits from our staff members who would want to raise some areas or that ranges from their respective workplaces, wherein they would express some areas that points to the relationship between an employee and an employer who is a supervisor. And of course, in terms of our policy, our grievance policy, it encourages us, or it promotes to have any areas of dissatisfaction to be resolved at the lowest possible level. So in that regard, we always explain to them that the supervisor has to be informed. There's a prescribed form that needs to be filled, but we always encourage them to have a conversation, have a talk. We are all human beings. We have to talk. Sometimes some of our behavior, you wouldn't really know as to whether it actually ignites some sense of, unhappiness and whatnot. But until you talk about it, some of those areas, they just get resolved there and there. But if it just gets exacerbated, we have no choice but to allow the formal process to happen. So we subscribed to the dispute prevention strategy, wherein we talk about it. We have our social partners, which are the unions, which is we have our Hospesa, Nehau, Dinosa, PSA. We do engage them through our structure called multilateral, which sits once a month, wherein issues of bargaining, issues that are aimed at creating the harmonious working relationship between an employer and an employee get ventilated. And I'm sure so far we've got reasonably a sound relationship. We are able to manage our institution. Of course, there and there we do have our own disagreements, but in the center of those disagreements, at least we respect each other. And our relationship is defined or is managed in terms of legislation such as the Labor Relations Act, as well as the applicable resolutions. So that's how we are actually dealing with issues of dissatisfaction and prevention. And continuously we do go out to departments to conscientize everyone about the importance of having a good relationship.
What are one of those key programs that are run by the HR?
Our biggest challenge dealing with hospital, it's run with the utilization of doctors, especially with us as academic hospital. We source the talent that is very rare, the type of skill that is required. We talk about the super specialist, and we know that super specialist or the talent developed through our registrar program get attracted to the private sector, even globally, to countries such as your Saudi Arabia, your Dubai, your UK, your US. So continuously we experience some resignation. So with that, it put a lot of pressure on us to fill or source the talent and replace, noting that the market does not necessarily have sufficient pool in terms of supply. Sometimes you post an advert only to find that you'll have a zero response. With regards to our policy, it provides mechanism to even do a head hunting, but for us to get to that, we acknowledge the approval authority in terms of the systems of delegations, wherein we must demonstrate to the head office that we've explored various options and we did not get the results. And on those basis, the permission will be granted to pursue that course. I think in the main, HR experience a lot of pressure in that space. And also one of the issues, we have a massive backlog in terms of payments, such as the grade progression, accelerated progressions. In the last financial year, we have pushed and we have extensively covered the financial year of 22-23 financial years. And it continues, the project continues. We have even expressed our interest to have a continuation of this project so that we can be able to cover everyone. And I must indicate that those processes, they need to be done in tandem with the PMDS. So we are hoping that the PMDS processes will be finalized sometime in September, so that it can give us a clear picture, even a clear numbers as to who qualifies for what. With that, we can be able to quantify the costs and inform the CEO that in terms of this project, so much money is required. And I must indicate that in the previous financial year, we have spent almost 20 million to cover those aspects. So so I think it's a work in progress. I think in the next 2 financial years, we will be clear in respect of those backlogs, and we are hoping to stabilize all our finances going forward. We'll have a much more better projection of our expenditure pattern from a COE, which is a cost of employment point of view.
So you've heard it from our HR director, Mr. Radebe. Thank you so much for coming, sir. It's been quite a pleasure having you here at the studio.
Yeah, indeed. I think you must invite us more often because we believe that this is a platform wherein we can at least have a conversation, and I'm sure we would even appreciate if you can open up, getting some questions, getting some views from our customers that we say we are serving, so that we can continuously improve. I'm just throwing this one in to say, think about it. In your busy schedule, we are always available at any given time. You can call us to source some comments in respect of any other issue, because it is in our interest to have a happy workforce, so that a happy workforce will provide a better experience in terms of the patient care, which is our statutory and fundamental mandate. Thank you very much.
And that's it. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, and follow our Facebook page. And also comment, we are aware. You know why? Because you might win yourself a prize.